Hello everyone, welcome to the Faust episode of the Ultimate E.G.O Guide, where we go over every E.G.O for the Sinners in Limbus Company. This is very simple, just going over every E.G.O, their uses and how to use them, and if they don't have a use, I will try my best to find one, because some don't, especially for Faust. So let's just start with the first E.G.O. This first E.G.O is just, early game AoE 3 attack wake E.G.O. It's got 1 coin like every other base E.G.O in the game, and it heals 12 SP for 4 allies. I mean, it's really simple. And the passive is if an enemy is staggered during this unit's attack, one ally with the lowest SP gets 2 SP heal efficiency next turn, which is a really useless status and also kind of just a really useless passive. I mean, it obviously can work and do something, but 9 times out of 9 it's not going to do anything. I mean, overall it's really cheap AoE. It's a little more expensive than the other base E.G.Os, but it has the AoE and it's got an SP heal for your team, so it's definitely not useless. It's definitely not something that you'll never press. I will say it doesn't clash very high, but also it makes up for it with the attack weight and everything like that. But I mean, overall I'd just give it like a solid 5, maybe 4 out of 10. This E.G.O on paper just looks like whatever. I mean, it doesn't look super insane. Who even needs nails? What the fuck is even curse? But it is actually really good for the Envy Res team. This is an Envy 1 coin E.G.O that inflicts 3 Pierce Fragility, 1 Envy Fragility, will inflict 3 Curse and 3 Nails on heads hit, and if the target has Curse, you'll do more damage with the E.G.O. And Curse, if you don't know what it does, will take, the stack of Curse and reduce it by 1 on turn end, but then give a random debuff of either 1 attack power down, 1 defense power down, 2 offense level down, or 2 defense level down. And then its passive, you'll deal 10% more damage for every negative effect on this unit, up to 50%. So it's a decent damage buff even for your Faust. I mean, really the only use you're going to have for this thing is on the Envy Res team with Multi-Crack Faust, who just does a lot of damage, can press it, but it also has a really strong corrosion, where it'll inflict 3 Envy Fragility, which can be really helpful for your Envy team. You got your Queen of Hatred Dawn, give her 3 Envy Fragility on top of her skill 3, and then you're going to watch the numbers fucking explode. It'll be crazy. But it's still, you got to overclock it. It's still cheap, but overclocking can hurt your SP. It's only a 10th though, so, doesn't cost that much actually. So it's actually a really good support E.G.O on that team, and really underrated. I mean, there are better ones on the team. That's really the main reason it doesn't get much use. Like you have, Queen of Hatred E.G.O herself, and you have Merceau's Electric Screaming, but it is still a really strong E.G.O on that team. Overall, I mean, I'd just give it a solid 6 out of 10, maybe even a 7. It's just good. I mean, there's no reason not to press it. It's basically free. I don't think you should ever be running out of Envy on the Envy Res team. So yeah, 6 or 7 out of 10. 9-2 Faust is the most useless E.G.O in the entire game, probably. I mean, not even probably, honestly. I think it is the most useless one. First, it's expensive, Gluttony on a burn team isn't that easy, and it's a burn E.G.O. And burn has Hitler Bullet to make it so every other burn E.G.Os are useless just because it exists. But not only is this E.G.O bad because Magic Bullet exists, it actively makes Magic Bullet worse. But before, I'm not going to go into all that yet. I'm going to talk about the E.G.O first. You gain attack weight off Lust Resonance. It's only going to be used on burn, so it's not useful there at all. I mean, you just better be off. You better just using other E.G.Os. If you need attack weight, no reason to use this one. Whatever. And then it also inflicts 3 burn and converts 2 burn on the target to 1 defense level down, max 10. So you will turn 20 total burn into 10 defense level down, which is useless. It literally makes Magic Bullet do less damage. It is so bad. But then also, its passive on heads hit with Lust Affinity skills inflict 1 burn on target. That could be good. But the burn Faust in the game has 0 Lust skills. So it ends up making this thing literally actively hurt you, even if you have infinite E.G.O resources. It is so bad. There is one meme use I have for this thing, and it's to use it on the Envy Resonance team because it can inflict burn now. It will only work in long fights. There are better E.G.Os to press, but you can give yourself more damage that way. And it also doesn't scale well with those IDs because they give themselves a bunch of offense level up, but still, you can use it. It's I wouldn't even say it's usable. It's like not recommended, but it also, it can work, I guess. If you want to use it, put it on multi-crack Faust. She has a Lust skill. It'll inflict burn. It'll make it a little easier, I guess, if you want to use it again. I don't know. Unless you plan on going to turn 50, it's not usable really at all. But you can use it. It could work if they make a fight that can go to 50 turns on one enemy. And yeah, and it also resets the clash ability of your Ishmael, but whatever. Don't ignore that part. That doesn't matter. Just get good, right? Just roll good, right? Whatever. This E.G.O, 0 out of 10. It's useless. This one is just another really bad Faust E.G.O. I mean, it used to be good, but I mean, now the Rupture Faust that you would use it on doesn't want to press E.G.O skills. You do a million more damage and a million more Rupture if you just never press an E.G.O skill. But also, I mean, it's just kind of super shit. It doesn't really do anything for you, but I mean, let's just talk about it, right? Gain coin power for Rupture on the enemy and for speed, and you gain haste, and then you gain attack weight for Gluttony, Resonance, and Resonance. And then on the first coin you inflict 2 count, second coin you inflict 2 potency, on the third coin you inflict 2 potency. I mean, it's kind of does a little bit of nothing. I mean, it's kind of does a little bit of nothing, kind of shit there, and it's kind of only useful if you want to proc Rupture a bunch of times, but there's Faust happens to do that perfectly fine. And then the passive, it's 1 Rupture count to random enemy or part on stagger or kill. I mean, it's also useless. It doesn't really do anything. It's never gonna affect you, probably ever. And if it does, I think you kind of probably didn't need it. Probably didn't need it at that time. If you did, you probably need like a lobotomy and get your head checked. No, but actually though, this thing is just bad. I mean, you can use it, but it's better off just not being pressed ever. You'd rather just use it to clash, but even then it can't clash very high because it's a 3-coin E.G.O and they hate multiple coin E.G.Os clashing high unless you're a WoW E.G.O that's made for Mirror Dungeon. So yeah, I give it like a 1 out of 10. It could be used. If you don't have Faust, it can be used. But if you have Faust and Limbus Company get 90s really easy, it is just worse than pressing defense skill into skill 3 every turn, and it always will be to the end of time. This E.G.O, it's hailed as the strongest super OP E.G.O ever. It's alright. I mean, it's got good attack weight, and it's only 1 coin though, and it can do damage. It can do a little bit of damage. It's definitely some AoE. It's not very cheap. It's a he, but you can do it. But the main use, is for the 15 SP heal to every ally, which, honestly, you don't really get much use out of, at all. I mean, other than turn 1 Fluid Sac on, Railway, I haven't really used it outside of that, because I haven't really needed it. And then, obviously, you heal all your allies 15% of accuracy. That part is actually good. That can be used pretty well. And then, if your heads hit, you heal another 10 SP, which can make it so this thing isn't SP negative, it'll be SP positive for your Faust, making it, a good bit better actually, and, it'll heal people more. And the passive is really shitty. I mean, you don't really need protection ever. I mean, if you do, it means you probably already lost or something, but you can use it. It does something. It's not useless, but overall, this E.G.O is just kind of mid. But it's still a healing E.G.O. There aren't many of those even now, and it's SP healing E.G.O at the same time, so just 2 things. So honestly, it's pretty solid. It's pretty good, honestly, just off that. And me, I don't need healing or SP. I never need that ever. because you can just restart, but like you don't actually really need it usually. But it could be good, you know. Like you can use it. Its best use though is turn 1, just pop it, give everyone 15 to 25 SP. That's great in Railway, man. That's great for those stupid Envy Peccadillo. I give this a 7. 7 out of 10. It's strong, but it's not as game breaking as people say at all. Telepole is, it's a fun E.G.O. Definitely can be used, but it's not really amazing. It's really niche, kind of. But let's just talk about it now. Let's just talk about how this thing fucking works. First, inflicts 3 paralyze, useless. It has 3 attack weight as well. It doesn't really matter usually. Gain 7 charge count, and then apply Envy powers up and haste to 2 random allies, and this unit gains 3 charge count. That's kind of useless. I mean, it could be used, but it's whatever. There's just better buffing EOs, and its heads hit, attack end, like it sucks. And the passive, is a big factor here of usefulness. When the unit has charge, deal plus 2% damage per charge count, but skills spend minus 2 charge count, which sounds great, right? But then you realize the Faust ID that would use this wants to spend charge count for potency to then do a bunch more damage, making this thing possibly make it so you ramp up slower. It's usually not going to happen, but it can happen, and it will make it so if you use it early, it will affect your rotations probably in the future. So overall, I mean, it's just kind of like not really necessary. It can be used in long fights. In long fights, this thing can actually be pretty good. But again, it's fighting over a lot of other MV egos. And overall, it's just kind of mid. Like, I really wouldn't use this thing. I mean, it's just kind of whatever. There's a battle pass ego, so if you want it, you're going to have to shard it only. There's not even a way to, like, just pull it randomly. Which, like, usually isn't a factor. I'm not going to factor it here in my ranking, but it's something you got to watch out for, right? I mean, but, like, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's not, like, amazing. I wouldn't press it really ever. I'm good at the game, right? I beat everything in 3 turns. But, I'd give it, like, a 4. 4 to 10 for just, simple reason of just, it's only good in long fights, and in long fights, there's probably still better options to press. And it's just whatever. It's just whatever. And its buffing is mid. It's mid. And it isn't really that good at all. Honestly, it's 4 to 10. You can use it. Usable. Whatever. Finally, a good Faust E.G.O. That's really good. Thoracalgia is really strong. 3 attack weight, 2 coins. Doesn't really matter. It's support E.G.O. First, you apply highest resonance poise potency to all allies, maximum 6. And at 3 pride resonance, apply 1 poise count as well to the affected units. And apply Shadow Exhale as well next turn. Shadow Exhale is a pretty simple thing. At 20 plus poise potency, gain 1 poise count as well. Whenever the unit gains poise potency with the skill and coin effects, it's all done. It just gives you poise count when you need it. And then you also gain 1 poise count and then deal poise potency plus count damage on critical hit to the enemy. Now it can do a little bit of damage. But the main thing this thing is used for, right? You'd be like, oh, it's pretty good, right? Pretty poise potency and maybe count too. But the main use for this thing is its passive. At the start of turn, using this E.G.O skill, you gain 1 nebulizer A. I think that's A, yes. Once per turn. And these will stack throughout each turn. You're not going to worry about it going away. And what this thing does is it will give allies 1 poise count and potency at the end of every turn. And it's really good that way. And then, combo start, gain 1 nebulizer A every time a unit applies 10 poise count to allies with nebulizer A effects. So, get more poise. And then also, at turn end, you heal allies based off the lowest percentage of max HP, and then you heal based off the nebulizer stack and then HP highest resonance max 6. So it can do a good bit of healing, and then if the unit received healing has 20 plus poise potency, activate heal 1 more time. The healing isn't insane. It's usually not the reason this thing is used. This thing is just a monster at generating everyone poise count and poise potency when they need it, because a lot of recent poise IDs, other than like the Ren Sinclair, suck at stacking poise. Even like people who like love Rion Sang, he's like, oh, he's so strong, right? But he can't really stack poise that good. So you gotta use his E.G.O. We'll make him stack poise way better, make him way more consistent, make him way stronger than you already think he is. This thing is like a mainstay on the Poise team, whatever is left of that team. I mean, the only issue I could find of the E.G.O is in the Poise team, if you use Faust like a meta slave, you won't really want to press the E.G.O, but then you can just fix that by turn 1 Durante. But still, it's not like something you would want to press on Faust, but I think it is good enough to, waste a turn to press it. So I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, I think I really, really like this E.G.O. I think it's really strong. I think if you want to use Poise-based IDs, it's a 100% get. But it is not perfect. It is not perfect at all. There's a perfect E.G.O, possibly, maybe next. Oh, no. It's not next, but there's another Faust E.G.O that I think might be perfect. This is super close, super close. 9 out of 10, definitely. This next E.G.O is the classic, funny Arcanite's E.G.O that you can't get anymore. And it is the one to compete, to dethrone the Fluid Sac. Oh, maybe it'll do it, right? But let's just go over, right? 3 attack weight, 1 coin. Ooh, already worse than Fluid Sac. It's only got 3 attack weight instead of 5. Ooh. If the main target has Burn or Rupture, final power +3. Before attacking, deal more damage based off Rupture and potency and count. If the unit has Hardened Shell Barrier, multiply this effect in its maximum cap by 2. And it's like whatever so far, right? More damage. Ooh, this thing doesn't do that much damage. Doesn't really matter. Gain 10 Hardened Shell Barrier, and what Hardened Shell Barrier does is it will give you defense level up maximum 3 based off of its stack. And if right before you're hit and you have this, you will gain protection equal to the stack. But it only procs once per turn, and at turn end you lose 3. So, it's kind of decent, I guess. It's kind of whatever. And then you heal yourself and one other ally with the least HP by 30% of the unit's max HP, which is like actually pretty good on like a high HP Faust. It can work pretty well. And if the unit is max HP, heal 2 other allies instead, which can make this thing actually pretty strong. That's a pretty good heal, right? And then you heal 15 SP for 2 allies, which, including this unit, so it's 1 ally. So it's pretty decent. That's definitely a SP heal. It's nothing like Fluid Sac, but it does heal more, but it heals less people, right? It also inflicts 3 Rupture and 3 Burn. It doesn't matter. Really, I mean, like, it's whatever. Basically, let's go to the passive before we, lose our minds here. Heal self and 1 ally for the lowest HP, with the lowest HP by Hardened Shell Barrier % of this unit's max HP. So that is actually a good part of it. It will heal every turn. And healing every turn can actually be pretty strong. I mean, it's still healing, so, it's not super strong, but it can work. It is good. If the unit is max HP, you heal other allies, so it's also, good there. And if healing receives are at 25% or lower, or are staggered, multiply the healing, so you heal even more if they're in danger. And at turn end, if the last E.G.O skill Faust used during this encounter was Command Meltdown, lose only 1 stack of Hardened Shell Barrier, which actually makes this thing way better. If this didn't exist, it would kind of suck, but it actually makes it way better. So overall, I think it's, whatever. Like, I think it's just a side-graded Fluid Sac, honestly. You gain less attack weight, but you can do a little more damage. And, instead of healing everyone 15% HP, you heal only, 3 allies for 30%? So that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. And the SP heal, the main use of Fluid Sac isn't on this thing, right? It only heals 2 allies SP. At that point, what's even the fucking point, right? So, I honestly, it might be a little worse in some scenarios, but where you want to heal, it is better, I would say. And it also makes it so you tank really good, and you'll heal every turn, right? You get a lot of value out of your healing. So I think I would put this right with Fluid Sac at like a 4 out of 10. Honestly, I think it's good, and it could be better. I feel like they should have not held back on the Arcanite E.G.Os as much as they did. There's really only 2 good ones. And this certainly is, like, decent, but I wouldn't say it's good. Not even super good. It's whatever. It's good. You can't even get any more, so, if you want it, right? If you watch this video and you want it now, too bad, buddy. Yeah, so 4 out of 10 is what I'd give it. Final Faust E.G.O, her one and only WoW E.G.O, and it is one of the greatest E.G.Os to ever grace this game. Start out, 4 coin WoW E.G.O, we're already hyped, we're already ready. whew, it's tremor, you know, that kind of brings down the hype a little, but hype, right? Starting off, if the target speed is slower than this unit, deal more damage based off the speed difference. Next part, before attack, at 3+ highest resonance, inflict tremor potency by 2 times highest resonance, max 10. If the highest resonance was a sloth, a resonance, inflict tremor count by tremor potency inflicted, max 10. For 3 turns, lose 10 SP a turn. Classic WoW stuff so far, you know. Random bullshit, right? Classic WoW stuff. Now let's get into the real meat and potatoes. Inflict 10 tremor and 10 tremor count. Ooh, crazy infliction already. And then aptitude entanglement into tremor everlasting. Tremor everlasting makes it so every tremor burst you do can tremor burst 2 more times on a coin flip for each. So you can turn your little tremor burst into another tremor burst, into another tremor burst, making it so you can tremor burst a million bajillion times every turn. And then it also tremor bursts 4 times. 4 tremor burst? What? What? And then it will reduce the target's max speed by half next turn. Doesn't really matter. But 4 tremor burst? What? Super good. Just off that, right? Passive, you know, is whatever. 1 haste can be good on Faust, right? Speaking of Faust, she is the best user of this E.G.O, and you might be like, what? But she's Rupture. She's Rupture. Yep, but this E.G.O, if it goes first, will literally do so much damage, right? And our current Faust, that is Tremor, isn't really that fast. And there are faster units on the team that would prefer to be a little slower, right? But, you know, our director doesn't really know how to design stuff like that. Don't worry about him, though. So we use Faust on the team, who has higher raw damage. You know, she doesn't have Tremor application, but she's got good E.G.O resources for this E.G.O as well. So what you end up doing is, you know, you get your Strider Mal, and you will be the fastest in the team. And then when you get the E.G.O, you use it. You entangle Everlasting into your Reverb or your Scorch or your Hemorrhage even. And you will literally increase your damage by minimum 2 times, maximum fucking 4 times. You know, you're doing so much damage on the Tremor team. You take your Everlasting, you entanglement with Reverb. You know, every Reverb would do 99 damage. Now it's doing fucking 399. It's doing so much damage. This thing is so monstrously broken. And honestly, I'm glad I get to end on this E.G.O. Faust has the most boring E.G.Os ever, and this thing, ooh, orgasmic. When you hit that shit, when you hit that fucking super mega hung, just destruction, just destroying his hull with your Tremor, God, it's so cool. Easy, 10 out of 10. When I wrote the script, I was like, oh, 9 out of 10, it's got issues, right? Oh, you need to use Faust. It is a 10 out of 10. Off Aura alone, it's a 10 out of 10. But, I mean, if you're being realistic, it's a 10. It's a 10 out of 10, easy. And now that we've talked about every E.G.O, time for the tier list. And everyone loves the tier list. We're going to put this with the Yi-Sang ones. And, you know the gist, right? Finally, we have a amazing, perfect W, perfect E.G.O. I love the Everlasting. I'm also sorry for this video taking 1 month. You know, it's purely my fault. I just decided to not do it. I really wanted to do it. I don't know. It's not going to happen again, I swear. I swear it'll never happen again. Don Quixote is next. Don Quixote, you know, everyone's favorite sinner, the Chungus sinner, right? The Chungus sinner is next. I hope you liked the video. You know, if you didn't know, 0% of my viewers are subscribed, so I'm not even going to put the analytic up. I know you trust me. So, please like, please subscribe, please post in the comments the same shit over and over again, like on the Yi-Sang video. And that's how I'll know if you watch to the end, right? If you posted the funny comment about Faust instead of Yi-Sang. So, see you guys later. See you guys. I'm going to have a bunch of fun playing more Limbus Company, because I love Limbus Company so much. I love Limbus Company. See those Whelp IDs, guys? See those Walpurgis IDs, right? This is going to be so cool, right? Oh, who's hyped? Who's hyped for Arleune Ryoshu, right? In Ryoshu season. Whatever, I'm rambling. Hope everyone enjoyed my video, and see ya.